Ephesians chapter 5. We're going to read 2 verses, 26 and 27 in Ephesians. And then we go to Obadiah. Obadiah. So Ephesians chapter 5, 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of word, which is water. The washing of water by the word. That he might present to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. Let's go to Obadiah. That will be going towards Psalm. It's in between Jonah and find it. All right. Obadiah. It's only one chapter. And I'm going to read 17 and 18. It says, but on Mount Zion will be deliverance. It will be holy, and Jacob will possess his possession. Jacob will be a fire, Joseph a flame, Esau will be stubble, and they will set him on fire and destroy him. There will be no survivor from Esau. The Lord has spoken it. From the first scripture that we read, we can see that Christ is coming back for a church that has no spot, no wrinkle, no blemish, a glorious church. And I know that this church is a glorious church. This is that church that God is coming back for. The church of the New Testament. And we are members of this church, the glorious people. Haggai chapter 2, 6 downwards, especially from 7 says, yet once again I will shake all nations, and the desires of nations shall come to me. And he said, silver is mine, gold is mine. In this place I will give peace. And the glory of the latter church shall be greater than the former. The glory of the latter church shall be greater than the former. He said, silver is mine, gold is mine. What is the relationship? Is measuring glory with wealth. So wealth is a component of glory. Then he said, in this place I will give it, and I will give peace. The Hebrew word there translated peace is shalom. It means peace in prosperity, nothing missing, nothing broken, awesomeness. So we are people that God has blessed, that God has given inheritances and possession. We are people that God instantly that we became his children receive inheritance. He is like the father of the prodigal son who does not need to die to give inheritance. He doesn't need to die to execute his will. God can die. He will never die. And immediately we became his children. We had instant access to his wealth. Then he was talking about in Obadiah that on Mount Zion shall be deliverance and shall be holiness. And this house of Jacob will possess all of his possessions. This Mount Zion represents a place of the manifest presence of God, a place of the Shekinah glory of God, a place of worship to God. This is a place of worship to God. This is a place of the manifest presence of God. This is a place of his Shekinah glory. In this place, there is holiness. In this house, there is deliverance. And we shall possess all of our possessions. I know a lot of people can settle down with that. They can get that. But the next verse says, 18 says, and Jacob, the house of Jacob will be a fire, and Esau stubble. But Esau will be completely devoured. To understand this story of two brothers, we need to back up to Genesis 25. Their mama was pregnant and was under severe pressure, pressure. It was like a battle going on inside of her. The pains was so high. The torture was becoming intolerable. It was pain to bear, gain deferred. It's like, I can't take it anymore. God, you got to do something. You got to tell me something about this. Please give me an instant explanation why I feel it this way. Why my womb has become a battleground. She got an answer. She got a wonderful answer. And God told her, 23, Genesis 25:23, there are two nations inside of you. There are two kinds of people within you fighting, struggling, butting heads. One shall be stronger than the other, but the older will serve the younger. So the first one came out. I mean, you think that, hey, Baker, you've just gone to God. You should expect God to tell you, no more pressure, no more pain. This pain is gone. But it didn't sound like, the response she got didn't sound like the pain was gone. So the first one came out, and he was red, full of hair, and they called him Esau. That word Esau was taken from the Hebrew word Odem, O-U-D-E-M. That means red clay. Red clay. That is also the root word for Adam or Adama and Edom. As a matter of fact, the descendants of Esau in the Bible are called the Edomites. Then the second one came out. And he came out holding the heels of the first one. It's like, I'm not going to let this struggle has to continue. This fight is on. We are not going to stop it. Today the fight is on. The fight in Palestine is not because I want land. It's not because who owns the land. It's a fight, a struggle of who is more superior. If you said, this is your God, you're claiming that you are more superior than me. Who is more superior? And that is the struggle of mankind. Whether in family, siblings fighting, they're not fighting for who is older or not. They're fighting for who is better. If you do analysis of all of the wars, it is a fight of who is superior, the supremacy. So it came out holding the heels, and they called his name Jacob, taken from the Hebrew word Yaakov. A variant of that name is Jacob. Y-A-Q-O-V. That means the follower, the replacer, the one that follows from the heel. So what is the implication of this? What does that mean to us? Esau, by implication, represents the first Adam, fleshy, earthly, the old covenant, the past. By implication, Jacob represents the second and the last Adam, spiritual, celestial, the present, and the future, the new covenant. He is the one that lined behind God to make the Abrahamic blessings of God transgenerational, transferable. And that's the reason today we are recipients of that same blessing. We are recipients of the Abrahamic blessings of God through this family of Jacob. So we are the family of Jacob. Every one of us that line behind God and follow Christ, we are that family that has become fire. Not trying to. We have been transformed into fire. We are the chosen generation. We're the holy priesthood, the royal priesthood. We are the peculiar people chosen by God to show his praises, who has called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. We are the children of light. We are the light of the world. We are the fire generation. We've got fire. This will be a good place to say, I've got the fire. Fire! So now that I got you excited, the question is, hey, Muyiwa, what is fire good for? What is the benefit of fire? Oh, I love that. But I'm not hungry yet. So if you were in winter and you were cold, covered with blanket and shivering, all you got to do is just get close to that fireplace where the fire is burning. Then it begins to warm you up. Then you can throw away the blanket, you can get on your feet and begin to walk around and be productive, because the heat in that fire will burn every cold away, will cast cold away. The heat of the fire in us is the element of the glory of God that burns all of the works of darkness and cast away demons and ward them off from us. Fire. The second main component of that is the flame. That is the one that shines and illuminates and makes the place bright so that if you get up and you start walking, you won't stumble, you will see your path. And as you get productive, you can be more productive. That is the light that shines. Light is so fundamental and so important that the first thing God created was light. He said, let there be light. And after that, other things started happening. Development, life itself. After light, we are the light of the world. This is the reason Isaiah said in chapter 60, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of God is risen upon you. Behold, darkness upon the earth and gross darkness upon the people, but the glory of God is risen upon you, and the light of God is shining through us. We are the children of light. We are the light of the world. We are the ones shining the glory, displaying the glory of our God. It was after God created light that chaos that was upon the earth disappeared. Imagine a city without light. Temple City without light one day. I guess some people can handle that. 1 week, 2 weeks. What about 3 weeks? 4 weeks? 2 months? The kind of chaos that will exist in a city like that can't even compare with taking away all of the Christians from that city. The reason there is little peace or whatever peace, level of peace and prosperity you have in any city is because there are Christians in that city carrying the glory and the fire of God. What is the connection? Fire and glory. There are so many examples in the Bible. One of the examples of the connection is when Solomon was dedicating the temple to God and has made sacrifices. The Bible said that fire just came down from heaven and consumed the sacrifice, and then the glory of God just came down immediately with the fire, such that people were under the influence of that glory, worshiping God, and they couldn't stand because of the weight of the glory of God. We've got the fire. Someone said that to imagine a world without fire is like sphere without roundness. Another person said that the level of energy a people can harness determines the level of development they will have. America is so developed because there's electricity, there's light. That's not the case in third world country. Malawi just came back. Nigeria. So the amount of energy that we can release into our community, the amount of fire we can release into our community is the level of development of life that a community can have. We have the fire. All we have to do is to make sure our fire is burning and continue to burn and continue to burn and continue to burn by fueling the fire. We are the fire of revival. And to bring revival to our city, all we have to do is to fuel and make sure our fire is burning and burning. Imagine if you have a big fire here and another big fire joins it, becomes bigger. Another big fire joins it, becomes bigger. The influence is growing bigger. The people from far will see it. The fuel of our fire is prayer. That is the piece that I'm adding to the message that's been building up. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The effectual fervent prayer, the heartfelt prayer of a righteous man prevails. It's dynamic. It brings tremendous results. Very soon I'm going to give opportunity for people who will want God to touch them in the area of your prayer life. But the same for our church. The womb of every reviver is prayer. I have studied revivals, and I can give examples, tell stories, but we don't have that time today. Every revival that I have studied about started with people praying. The womb of revival is prayer. God didn't make any mistake by calling us into revival town. It's not an accident. We didn't do this last year, but it happened this year. This year is different. This year is a new beginning. Now, before I talk more about that, there will be people here, or there may be people here who will say, hey, I just need a new capital, a new spiritual capital upon my life. for an effective, heartfelt prayer, we're going to give opportunity for such people to receive impartation. It could be, well, I need to step it up. I've been struggling with my prayer life. We're going to give opportunity to people like that to receive impartation tonight. But for our church, at the beginning of this year, first, let me say that this is a year of new beginning for this church. At the beginning of this church announced that we're going to build a new campus. That is new. That is new level, higher level. And we're going to invest into ministries and gifts of different people. That is new. That is new beginning. The way devil operates, the way he operates, is not to fold his hand without giving a fight. It's not to fold his hand without resisting someone that wants a new. As long as that new beginning is from God, the enemy of God wants to resist it. But you know what? The higher the resistance, the higher the revival that is available. The higher the resistance, the higher the revival that God will give. This is revival time. When our pastor declared that we're going to do those things, God gave a program and inspired him to also set up a revival town. God is the one that sees the end from the beginning. Did he know that the enemy will resist? Yes. Did he have solution to the resistance? Yes, this is it. Our lives, our prayer lives, individually, corporately, should be revived so that the fire is burning high and big and the devils can't come close. And that fire will also go around and shine in all over the city of Temple. It is not an accident that I am in Temple, that you are in Temple, that you are in Temple, that we are in Temple. Again, maybe on individual level too, you just want that newness. You want to step into that new promise that you receive from God. This is the day. This is the time.